underneath gets filled with water, so they're actually swimming in it. And I put them in the start area here. And the way I do it first is to show them one color. You see that over there. And I train them to respond positively to the color, which just means to swim towards it. And every time they do, I give them like a reward, so I drop in a tiny piece of shrimp. So eventually they pick up and learn that if I go to this color, I'm going to get rewarded.
Right.
So once they can do this, and they can do it on either side, it doesn't matter, either color can be on either side. Then I add a second color. And the object is to get them to consistently keep going to their rewarded color.
I see.
So what that's showing is that they can discriminate between these two colors, and they can tell the difference between them and know to go to a rewarded color. They can see the difference. And then in the last step of it, I change the intensity of the colors because, you see how this one's much brighter now? So if the turtles had been seeing this color as much brighter, they could just go to the brighter color every time, and they might not necessarily be doing it based on color. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so the last step of it, I change the intensity of these. So I make one color brighter, like I would here, and then I make the other color dimmer, and see if they can still go to their rewarded color. So that shows that they're making that discrimination only using the actual color.
Right, not just the light.
Using the intensity, right?
Yes.
So I'm training 6 turtles. It takes a lot of patience training the turtles.
Morgan's probably the most patient person here.
Today I finished 2 turtles completely, so I have 1 turtle left to train, which is very exciting.
That is awesome. So what is the purpose of doing
mainly
this?
to see if they have color vision, which hasn't been
Okay, it hasn't been determined yet.
And from there, we don't really know how they might be using color vision. So that would be the next step, whether it's finding their food or it's help them locate mates to reproduce. I'm not really sure.
So it's just the first step. So that's awesome. Nobody's done it before.
It's been suspected before, or suspected, but no one's shown it as clearly as this one.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Good for you.
It's really funny to see them. I have one that goes down the maze in like 2 seconds with its mouth wide open, just waiting for the shrimp.
So they have very distinct personalities, and
That's it. Some I put in the maze and they won't do anything. I can't train them, and others shoot down in 2 seconds and nearly like take off my finger as I drop the shrimp in. So I have some that are easier to train.
well, very good. Congratulations.
Cute.
Yeah, and they all think they're going to get fed because people just showed up by the side of the tank. Are any of these your,
Yeah, 2 of them, and they're probably the ones that are
that are begging? 102?
this one.
Yeah,
And 104 is the other one.
Yeah. So these are the turtles that are
That's a
doing the
train.
experiment.
Oh, so cute.
Yeah, they're quite a bit bigger.
This is the one that
That
shoots
one
down
is
the maze like
quite
Tries to bite your
enthusiastic.
hand. That is quite a bit of growth.
that is a lot of growth.
That one's super sleepy.
Yeah. Well, that's normal. That would be a normal behavior. And so part of what we have to do before we let them go is we don't. Morgan's situation is special where she's making sure they can associate a reward with the action. But normally we don't hand feed them unless there's a special reason to, so that they can always look elsewhere for food, not to our hands.
Right.
So.
And so the individuals that are just kind of floating, they haven't been put through the process?
Well, some of them still are enthusiastic anyway. But by the time actually we let I think when you were here last year we showed you the satellite tanks here.
Yes.
And those ended up those turtles. One of them made it all the way to across the Atlantic to the Azores.
Right.
And
yeah,
so,
you emailed me about that.
Yeah.
What size are they when you put the transmitters on? They're quite a bit larger.
Yeah, they're
than
about
this.
the size. They're about the size of my hand. Yeah.
So probably double this size?
Yeah, almost double the size.
When you do the color testing and stuff, do you ever like switch the colors, or do they go to one side every time?
Nope, so it switches sides.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
throughout the whole
Size and
time.
intensity,
Okay,
it's just the
cool.
color.
So they know to go to the color no matter what side it's on.
Right on.
So how old do you estimate they are when you put transmitters on?
Oh,
2 months,
they're
3
about
months?
they're about minimum of 2.5 months, and more likely 3 to 5. I think our youngest ones that we've released with transmitters so far were 3. Last year we let 2 go. There were 3 months and a couple days.
So they're still fairly small.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even though the transmitters are getting smaller, we still have to have an animal big enough so we're not affecting its growth or its ability to feed and all that.
Right.
So that was a big part of what we had to do was in the lab was verify that we're not affecting the growth, not affecting the behavior,
Right.
not affecting the swimming ability to any, and so we spent almost 2 years doing that with loggerheads, but now we're going to do it with green turtles who are up there. And, yeah, I was going to say, they're about 3 weeks old.
So they're quite a bit larger than the loggerheads?
No.
They're smaller?
They start about the same size. Maybe a gram or 2 bigger, but not a lot. So, just for some perspective, when I started working with these animals, and as a graduate student, I would come from Illinois down to Florida, study the turtles, then I'd leave like 2 days before classes started, which is right about now.
Right.
And go back, and I would barely be able to stay long enough to get data on the green turtles. They would hatch just days before I had to leave. So these animals, just to, again, look at some perspective, same areas, same beaches that I was working on when I was a graduate student. They're hatching almost a month early.
Wow.
They're nesting earlier and they're hatching earlier.
Yeah.
So I think things are, it's pretty good evidence that the multiple sources that say that it's getting warmer and changing
we look to the frogs in environments first,
Yeah.
so the turtles are probably on that same level of, they're showing the change.
Yeah, so, I mean, the easy kind of concept to think about is sheep. I did this 20 years ago, and I barely got my green turtle samples in. And now it's not a big deal because they're hatching in July.